Why were these Minecraft mods banned? So I researched every single one and put them all into one video. And trust me, neither of us is ready for what we're about to find out. Starting with... this mod was banned from sites like CurseForge and Modrinth. In the mod, there is Grotesque Steve, where he just looks like a weird looking version of Steve. His face almost looks real, but just put in Minecraft. When playing with this mod, he can spawn at the worst times and try to grab you. You'll know if he's near when a certain happy kind of music starts playing. From here, your best bet is trying to run away from him, because fighting won't end well at all. We all know the regular mobs that attack you like Endermen, skeletons, and zombies, but this mob doesn't attack you, he touches you. The mod got so popular that multiple updates happened, giving Grotesque Steve some very suggestive costumes. Now, judging from the clips we've seen, how could this mod possibly be so bad? I mean, the only thing that could be enough to ban this mod is maybe the costumes? Well, that's what I thought at first, but after doing some digging, it's not so much the mod itself, but the lore of Grotesque Steve. In the underground depths of 4chan VBoard, the section dedicated to video games, the idea of Grotesque Steve first appeared on September 22nd, 2018, when an anonymous user used the term Steve posting during an argument about which character should be added to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Only a few days later, on October 1st, 2018, another anonymous user posted a 3D model of Minecraft Steve to the same board. This version of Steve looked more realistic than the usual blocky version. Many people online started using the character model of the Steve to do questionable actions. From him dragging a Smash character by the feet, flossing, and eating Banjo-Kazooie completely outright. Then there came the infamous Banjo and Steve video. A video that took things too far like the rest of the animations. But a big question was who in their right mind would make these disgusting animations? People in the community have said the YouTuber Futuristic Hub was to blame, who is a YouTuber known for producing Minecraft-style 3D animations, featuring characters from widely different franchises, like Mario, Sonic, SpongeBob, and putting them in interesting scenarios. He was also caught in some controversies with Minecraft content back in 2015. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he did make it. But the reason why this mod I believe should be kept under the rug is because the mod has a very dark origin with Grotesque Steve. The mod is basically used to market the sick animations that were made by these people in 4chan, where anyone can find the reference video and get traumatized. While the Grotesque Steve mod deserved to be banned, the next mod many people believe shouldn't have. Now if you're Gen Z like me, you most likely remember Sunday, DanTDM, and Stampy Cat. During this era of Minecraft, there was one mod we've always wanted to play, but never got to.
Pixelmon.
The Pixelmon mod was everything a kid could want. Imagine being able to play Pokemon but in Minecraft. Not trying to be a fanboy here, but I watched every video of this from DanTDM battling with Think Noodles and Thanksia, to Sunday, Crainer, and Captain Sparkles, where they had the whole red, blue, yellow team thing. But every child's dream to play this mod got crushed when it got shut down by Nintendo. Created by Daniel Phillips, Pixelmon was created in 2012, only adding the 3 Gen 1 starters. A team was built to help develop it even further, adding way more Pokemon and turning the cubic models to more 3D-like, pretty much being identical to the 3D model in Pokemon X and Y. The mod got even more popular through the widespread of YouTubers that were making content, causing everyone to know about it, even Nintendo. In 2017, the Pokemon Company requested the removal of Pixelmon, causing the owner Daniel Phillips to start a petition getting 2,000 signatures to hopefully not get the mod shut down, where Daniel said, "We feel beaten down, discarded, and pushed around. We feel like something that was such a light of joy has been stripped away. Phillips continued, "Please, for the good of an ever-growing community and the love it holds, do not shut down Pixelmon. That's the whole purpose of Pokemon, I thought, to let you be a child again." Even though everyone tried their best, the mod still got shut down, and the development of the mod stopped. But as you may know, there are still several videos talking about the mod. If it got shut down by Nintendo, why is it still here? Well, these mods actually aren't the original. After the original shutdown, many replicas were made. In 2020, a mod called Pixelmon Reforged was made by a new team, remaking the mod with more features and better legal compliances. Even though this mod got shut down, it still stayed up and got brought back to life. But this next mod wasn't so lucky. Created by the mod developer Arthouse, the Aware and Conscious is a horror mod that added features that were too over the top, getting itself banned from mod sites like CurseForge. When first put into the world, you are given scissors and a medicine called Risperidone, which explains a lot about the lore with this horror mod that we'll get into later. So just keep this item in mind. In the mod, add strange blocks to your world, and by breaking this pink block, it will spawn a weird entity, hinting at the fact they have a mind of their own. An interesting fact as well is mobs in this world are called sacrifices. I wonder why. You only have one goal in this mod: survive 15 days. During those 15 days, you will answer interesting questions that will put you down mentally. Day 1 gives you a question, showing how the character is going crazy due to the TVs and news around him. The top left shows a patient meter that goes up as strange events happen. And the only way to decrease this is by taking the Risperidone medicine. As the days progress, the game forces you into disturbing scenarios, like tormenting a cat, or even game ending the cat. Whatever choice you make, it gives a hammer that has a disturbing feature to it. But as I keep doing more digging on this mod, I'm kind of surprised how this mod even got banned. Maybe it's because of these hostile mobs, where this one is called the Seeker, who will spawn randomly, and when it does, the screen shows hide or run. You have a countdown that tells you when he will stop, but some other entities don't give you a warning at all.
Oh my god, oh what?
This mob is Meat Boy, who does some weird things to your computer. But an interesting one is this weird Steve who has a hole in his face that takes you to a world with cockroach-like blocks and teeth blocks, with the text saying, "God loves you." Now if you notice, this quote-unquote God has been mentioned quite often. Well, that's because there is a mob called that. This mob seems to be the entity that is tormenting the character. If you remember the item Risperidone, it's actually a medicine to help with schizophrenia, which means your brain has trouble deciding what's real and what your mind is making up. Meaning all of this is inside the player's head. The teeth and bug blocks, the scary god monster, they all come from the player's mind. The medicine Risperidone is supposed to help the player feel normal again and stop seeing things that aren't there. And as the days go on, the player starts losing themselves completely. But then the mod breaks the fourth wall by actually messing with your computer. But to hold off for a bit, it says here that 99% of you guys aren't subscribed. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I genuinely want to make a community of people who like learning about this stuff. So if you're like me and want to be a part of people who enjoys the same thing you do, hit that subscribe button. Thank you, you're awesome. Back to the video. In this instance, the mod makes a text file called hello. Inside, it says, "Hi, I'm Meat Boy. Did you miss me? Anyway, your Minecraft is here. Sorry, I accidentally deleted a couple of files there." This tells how this mod is able to go beyond Minecraft, where in another example, it made notes saying I live inside your PC. Even when you try to load your world, it shows a creepy image, emphasizing that story of you not knowing what's real and what's in your mind. This was the main reason Aware and Conscious got banned, because when players saw files appear on their desktop, or got creepy messages from Meat Boy saying things like this, it didn't seem like a horror mod, but instead a computer virus. While Aware and Conscious just created simple text files, this one takes it to a whole nother level. Created by Dregler, he intended this mod to scare the player, and it does exactly that. When first spawning into the world, you're met with another player called Cool Player 303, which is strange because it's only a single player world. This player then starts following you around and sends questionable messages in the chat. And when you try to game end this player, he just respawns and guilts you, sending a message like, "Why are you doing this?" But if you continue to knock out this player, this eventually happens. A red screen appears with dead eyes, directly staring at you. Then it goes away, and now in the chat is a Japanese sentence translating to, "I'm sick of everything. I hate you. I hate this world. Let me out, I'll find you and get out." This gives some ideas of the entity in this mod that knows it's in a game and wants to get out and go inside your system. Okay guys, that one was good. You gotta give me that one. Anyways, there is actually crazy lore in this horror mod where the creator had made 6 different endings that you can unlock. But the story isn't what got this mod banned. As you play through the mod, it shows you wooden signs giving away your IP address. And if you didn't know, anyone who has this can find exactly where you live, causing many players to believe this mod is a computer virus, which is nothing new for Minecraft, where mods would basically be Trojan viruses, stealing all of your information, causing there to be this crazy event with the modding community, which we'll cover more on later in the video. Another feature that's shown is a system warning with unique text. This is the starting point of the mod messing with your computer, but eventually it starts doing things like this. Going down further in this rabbit hole, the mod starts changing your background and creating a bunch of text files on your computer. Then the creepy lady that made this mod popular appears. Yeah, big props to the YouTuber Nebular for playing this mod. This would get anyone terrified, thinking that their PC is hacked and this messed up lady is appearing. I do see the immersion, but this mod is pretty extreme, resulting many people in the community having interesting thoughts on this malware-like mod. Since saying the mod is safe, since it only opens applications and changes your wallpaper, making you feel that it's malicious. But some disagree, saying that behavior is still considered malicious since it allows opening apps and changing stuff from your computer is still a really big flag. So my friend, all I advise is if you ever try to play this mod, play it at your own risk. Many people believe that the mod is simply to get that scared feeling, but some say the mod takes things too far by messing out of the game and now into your computer. While the mods we've covered so far were taken down from certain modding websites, this next one broke Mojang's guideline, causing it to get taken down. The creator of the physics mod, Hobna, created the mod February 3rd, 2021. Now, this mod has gained a crazy amount of popularity from YouTube, getting millions of views, which in turn got the mod almost 14 million downloads. Now, what this mod does is it basically makes Minecraft more real. From adding gravity into your world to mobs now ragdolling when you hit them. All these features are quite cool, but it gets even crazier with the pro version of the mod. The oceans now have waves and winds that make sailing more interactive, while smoke from fires drift through the air just like in real life. Snow becomes soft and crunchy, leaving footprints wherever you walk, and water flows naturally in every direction, filling holes and running down hills in real time. Even capes, spanners, leashes, and fishing lines move and sway with the wind, making your world look more dynamic and alive. And in the caves or nether, vines gently swing as you pass by, adding motion to your world. This is why this mod has gotten such popularity with about 14 million downloads. So what made Mojang want this mod possibly taken down? Well, in its guidelines, Mojang says to never sell mods for money. Making the mod to gain a profit could get you in major law trouble with Mojang, because they don't want you to use their code. but they're fine with mods being free. Hobna at the time had a Patreon where it had the pro version of the physics mod behind a paywall, but it was so he was able to make a full-time living improving the mod. Mojang then messaged Hobna issuing a DMCA takedown, causing his Patreon to get taken down, which impacted him financially and limited the amount of time he can improve upon the mod. A lot of people believe that this was unnecessary, saying it's illegal and incredibly evil, and also saying it was a terrible thing for Minecraft to do. But even though many people believe that this was unjust, not much can be done with these big companies. This story does have a happy ending though, with Hobna being able to get in contact with Patreon to put the page back online. But now following Mojang's requests, the pro version of the physics mod is now free. The community of this mod is still growing strong, even with the setback of Mojang. To this day, Hobna has thousands of supporters because of the passionate effort he puts into such an amazing mod, with the DMCA takedown only making his mod even more popular for millions to enjoy. Thank you, Hobna. While the physics mod made the Minecraft experience better, and Mojang let the mod continue its development, this next one is straight up disturbing and deserves to be banned by Mojang. This mod you actually aren't able to find anywhere. The person who created this mod, UT, added features in Minecraft that was more than questionable. The Kidnap mod adds features that let players capture, tie up, and lead other players around with ropes. When someone is tied, they struggle to move freely. The mod also has a reward system where capturing players give you a prize, and there are disturbing items that can be added onto the person. In the mod, it adds these girl NPCs that talk into the chat, typing in disturbing messages. This mod ties into adult territory. But what made this mod even worse was the community, where these people would make Discord communities with the only goal of doing roleplays with these mods. Remember, Minecraft is an E for everyone game, so mods like these are not allowed. So Mojang got involved. This was revealed in an article where Mojang threatened UT in taking down the mod, while also blacklisting Minecraft servers of the mod. A screenshot was shown with an unknown user messaging UT asking what happened to the mod and the fandom. UT responds saying, Mojang requested the mod to be taken down. It will not be distributed anymore. Then the following message tells us that there won't be another mod like it again, since Mojang doesn't want this kind of mod in Minecraft. Even today, there are many controversies with this mod. Many who play this mod believe that it shouldn't be completely taken down, because there wasn't anything too bad, unlike the other banned mods we will talk about later. But others believe the mod ruined the game and made it not safe for younger players, especially with the adult-like servers that were being made. Unlike the other two malware-like mods we've covered, the broken script is way worse than both of them combined. The mod changes many parts of your normal Minecraft game, so that it feels like someone might be watching you. This is shown with the text in red saying, I see you. The big feature of the mod are the different entities, like Null and Spectrum 11, that appear in your world and sometimes chase or game end you. The mod also has events where your screen might flicker, error messages pop up, buildings shift weirdly, or unexpected things happen underground. The mod can even affect things outside of the game. It creates text files on your desktop, make the game crash, shake your windows, or even ban you from your world. But these are the features of the mod being nerfed. The broken script had even more features that aren't in the mod anymore due to how extreme they were. In the pre-nerf version, the mod was able to send a command that would turn off your PC. This feature was unexpected to the players who played the broken script, causing everyone to be scared. But this fear turned into harassment, and even death threats to the creator of the mod, Wendigo Drip, due to many people believing this mod was malware. So people took a deeper look at the functions where it creates a single text file on your desktop, forces a PC shutdown, and shows pop-up error messages. As you may know, many YouTubers who played this mod had their recordings corrupted because of the mod forcing your PC to shut down. So some players players who were misinformed decided to report the broken script as malware and had the mod removed from CurseForge. Following this backlash, a community patch for the broken script mod was made, which made the mod less extreme, where the forced PC shutdown command was removed. There is even a safe mode adding to further help with the mod. It does this by stopping your world from getting corrupted and even prevents certain mod features that happen to your desktop. But even with these fixes, there was still some controversies with this mod, with a Reddit thread asking if it was safe to play. Other players believe the features of the mod aren't all too bad, saying if it does turn off his PC, he can just turn it back on. But some people remain skeptical, saying to not give a mod that much control of your computer. Even some people saying it can have control over your personal information. But even with these opinions, I believe the mod changed horror Minecraft, taking the experience out of the game to real life. Whether that's good or bad would only be up to personal opinion. We've already seen 3 mods that acted like malware, but these next mods carried real computer viruses and caused real damage to whoever played them. It all started back in 2023 when players began downloading mods from sites like CurseForge and dev.bucket.org. When Dungeons Arise is a popular adventure add-on that spawns big, mysterious dungeons all over your world for you to explore and battle through. It's been downloaded about 85 million times on CurseForge. Meanwhile, the Sky Villages gives you more creativity within your world by generating floating villages high in the sky for you to discover. And then there's Vault Integrations, which is an add-on mod that helps automate gear and vault systems in big mod packs, having over 1.7 million downloads on CurseForge. But take note, there were way more mods infected. Now in this list, people playing these mods then realized they had hidden malware in them called Fracturizer. When someone installed one of those infected mods and launched Minecraft, the virus would secretly connect to a remote server. From there, it would download more harmful code that began spreading through their computer, trying to steal login information from browsers like Discord and even Minecraft accounts. It could also switch cryptocurrency wallet addresses, meaning if someone tried to send digital money, the virus could steal it. Many players first noticed something was wrong when they find a weird file called libwebgl64.jar inside their Microsoft Edge folder, a clear sign their computer had been infected. Developers and players warned others not to download new mods or .jar files until everything was safe. Some believed hackers had stolen mod creators' accounts, while others thought the platform itself was hacked.
First of all, the virus hasn't gone through CurseForge, as one of the admins wasn't compromised or anything like that. Instead, it's been spreading through developer accounts for people posting mods on the website. It uploads a silent update that people then download, or it automatically is downloaded onto their servers. And if you have a Windows or Linux PC, you may be compromised if you're running any of these plugins here.
Eventually, CurseForge responded on a Twitter post saying, "We are looking into an incident where a malicious user uploaded projects to the platform. This is relevant only to Minecraft users, and we have banned all accounts involved." Now, the thought of this happening to anyone is terrible. So when we look at the malware-like mods that we covered, it starts to make sense why they got taken down from CurseForge. Because as good as these mods are at giving the horror experience, giving permission to mess around with your computer may be too far. Created by Ibalia, a popular mod creator who made the Silence and 00 Point Jar mods. But a mod he also created was the Salvation Archive Lobotomy mod, getting over 51,000 downloads. Like Ibalia's other creations, this is a horror mod, but this one is about lobotomy. If you didn't know, a lobotomy was an old medical practice where doctors damage or cut connections in the front part of the brain to try to change a person's behavior or emotions. The way these doctors used to do it is disturbing, but not as disturbing than the reason this mod got banned. Taking a look at the mod, it doesn't seem that bad. You play as a lobotomized patient who is trying to live a normal life. But after getting your brain turned into mush by a doctor, you lose your memories and get sent back to the world. Now, as I was watching a Russian YouTuber named Fogix who played this mod, I had the same thought again. There's really nothing wrong with this mod. If anything, there's a weird doll-like picture with a red hoodie, with the top saying 123. That tries to be a jump scare, but doesn't do much. And that repeats with several other images that popped on the screen. But besides that, throughout the video, that's about it. Fogex plays the mod like normal and ends the video. I was debating whether to put this mod in the list, because as you saw, there's nothing out of the ordinary, nothing illegal, and definitely nothing NSFW. But then, curiosity got the better of me. I watched this 18-minute video over and over again, thinking maybe I'd missed something, but I hadn't. Until I came across the red doll again. It was still there, just as weird as before. This time, the longer I stared at it, the worse it got. So I went to find the origin of this picture. And when I did, I genuinely was disgusted that this was included in the mod. To understand why, you need to know Anatoly, who is a Russian historian and translator. He was arrested in 2011 after police discovered dozens of mummified bodies in his apartment. Instead of harming living people, Anatoly stole bodies from cemeteries over many years. He dressed them and treated them like dolls or guests in his home. Investigators said Anatoly believed he was protecting the dead and preserving them, rather than letting them decay, which is quite interesting for him to think like that. But that's not the worst part. One of the mummified bodies that was reported was a distinct red hooded doll with 123 on the top of its hood, essentially meaning Ibalia put a decomposed doll as a jump scare in this mod. Obviously that's pretty bad. Imagine after you pass away, you're used as a silly jump scare in a game. The mod then got taken down on CurseForge at some point. We know this because a Reddit user made a post, not being able to find the mod. In the reply, it's been told it was taken down for the exact reason we talked about earlier. And this is where this mod crossed the line. Once you learn what it was referencing, it's clear why it caused backlash. This is why it was taken down. The Split Self mod can be found in Motherinth, but not in CurseForge. It was made by Prism, with his mod getting over 80,000 downloads. Split Self is a horror Minecraft mod where you create a world and leave a version of yourself trapped inside it. That version becomes aware, and starts doing things to your world you would never expect. For most players' experience with the mod, you get in the world, get wood and stone tools, you know, regular Minecraft gameplay. But you're an epic gamer. So you even made a house and got a pet axolotl called Fish. After a hard day's work, you go to sleep, but you don't wake up in the morning. Instead, you get teleported to a distorted world, in a house you never built. In the distance, it's completely black. You explore in a panic, wondering where you are. The only thing that exists is a house, a mine, and a version of yourself? Eventually, even the house you never built, the one from the distorted world, appears. If the house is here, that can only mean one thing. The entity is now in this world too. In a situation like this, anyone would be terrified. But at least you're not completely alone. Your pet axolotl stays by your side as everything around you begins to fall apart. Except your pet axolotl doesn't care. So he'd much rather die than experience what's about to come. Then the house you worked so hard to make gets destroyed, even deleting entire chunks off your world. But after destroying your home, the mod doesn't stop there. Because it turns out the reason Split Self is never gonna be allowed on CurseForge is because of the concept of this mod. In the story, the entity tries to escape the world, to the point the mod developer wanted to be so interactive it would mess with your PC, going out of the game to real life, with many saying it's malware. At first, the changes are little. Informations appear that the game wouldn't typically show on its own, which is your real life name, creating the impression that the mod is aware of the player rather than just the character. Shortly after, the game may pause and stop responding. These events aren't crashes or errors. Instead, they're actually intentional, adding files into computer of Split Self, adding messages like ah. If you continue playing, weirder events again happen outside of Minecraft. Files and messages show up in different places where Minecraft can't access. These changes don't come with explanations or warnings, they just happen at random times, making it unclear what triggered them. But it takes things to the next level by typing even more disturbing messages in real time. talking about wanting to be free and let out. In the end, going back to the game of Minecraft, he is let out. The entity's head is long and stretched with dark, empty eyes that feel like they're staring straight at you. A design that has similarities to the moon head that was in the basement from Courage the Cowardly Dog. That gave many 1990s to 2000 kids nightmares. Including me, by the way. I was so scared of this thing. But unlike that moon monster, its mouth is wide open, frozen as if it's screaming. When it spawns, it runs straight at you. And that's why Split Self isn't just a normal horror mod, where the game doesn't stay on the screen, and instead, you become part of the experience. Obviously, all of the malware-like behavior is part of getting an immersive gameplay. By this point, you've already been through everything. You got a friend, you built a house, but all of it comes crashing down. Now, you're experiencing events that affect your computer, which is the point. The mod is trying to scare you. But with mod sites like CurseForge, they banned this mod from being on their site, where there's nothing we can really do. There are a lot of illegal mods in Minecraft that have been made, which is kinda worrisome, I will say. But out of all of these mods, Psychedelic Craft is the most special. Because the mod was so bad, it was banned from an entire country. Created by Ivorforce, Psychedelic Craft is one of the oldest drug simulation mods that was made for Minecraft. It not only added certain, let's just say, substances into Minecraft, but as well as beers and mature drinks that can be consumed. This mod brings real-world ideas into Minecraft. It's not like you can just find these substances willy-nilly. One of my favorite features in this mod are these villagers called dealers, who also makes the substances and sells them. They're seen with a neat gray hat and wearing all brown. Now these guys are pretty shady and found in normal villages, just chillin', growing their crops to sell. I just find it funny if a shady villager goes up to you and says something like, "Hey, wanna have a good time?" Yeah, it would just be so weird. Anyways, it's not just these substances that are in the mod. One of the features that make this mod different is you have substances ranging all the way to caffeine, which really isn't bad. We know a lot of people addicted to caffeine. But then the mod can get a little bit out of hand by adding Breaking Bad level substances. The mod simulates what many of these substances would do, but it's okay since it's in Minecraft.
Yo. What the what? What is going on? Why are there fish flying? Oh, I'm tweaking. Wait, why is my face like that?
But then some of the effects take things way too far.
Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Like many people who grew up with Minecraft in the early 2010s, the Psychedelic mod is old and has evolved as time went on. The creator of the original mod, Ivorforce, started the development during 2011, where it wasn't called Psychedelic Craft, but instead Alcohol Craft. Taking a look at Ivorforce's old channel, we are able to see a video of the first showcase of the mod called Minecraft Alcohol Craft 1.0. In this OG version of the mod, you're able to harvest materials and turn them into different beverages, whether that be beer or wine. At this stage, it didn't have the crazy effects that it does now. All it did was make you a bit tipsy, messing with how you see in the game. But next, he made different versions of the mod, going from version 1.0 all the way to version 2.2, where every update adds a new drink that would give a different visual effect. Until Ivorforce started crossing the line, only a little bit, deciding to add certain items in October of 2012.
Hello everyone and welcome to Psychedelic Craft. This is basically Alcohol Craft, but because I updated it and gave it more features, the old name doesn't actually make sense anymore. So yeah, I'm just going to show you the new stuff. If you want to check out the old stuff, just watch the old videos or...
The mod again is strictly for educational purposes, showing what the items do to the player in Minecraft.
So as you can see, the world is yeah, kind of crazy right now. if psychedelic craft is one thing, that all the effects are pretty, well, they don't lack any features, let's just say that. I've added pretty much to make it as cool as possible.
Psychedelic Craft has crazy visual effects, with Ivorforce adding a growing list of items that were a bit extreme. Because of that, the mod quickly became one of the most popular mature themed mods of its time. During the 2010s, like many popular YouTubers, they started doing mod showcases of Psychedelic Craft, exposing it to a wide variety of people. This includes Jack Sucks at MC with this video. But there were a ton more YouTubers like Caveman Films and Yog Labs. These mod showcases got a ton of views, leading to a lot of people downloading the mod, which you would think is good, but sometimes too much attention will lead to negative opinions. Psychedelic Craft became relatively controversial because it put real substances into Minecraft, a game that a lot of younger players downloaded and played. Personally, I think this mod is strictly educational. Like, for example, how in schools, I remember they would teach me that drugs are bad, and you should never ever touch them. The way school taught us is by showing these substances and how it could ruin your life. This is the same with the psychedelic mod. Ivorforce does not promote the use. He just makes a simulation of it in Minecraft, and even shows the harmful effects, which just by seeing them does a better job of teaching me to avoid them, because personally I never want to experience anything like this. Unfortunately, mod sites like CurseForge didn't think the same way. After some time, the Psychedelic Craft mod used to be available in CurseForge, but now if we search for the mod, it's just not there. Sadly, it's no surprise because when you take a look at the policies, CurseForge has prohibited adult content. It states they don't allow any mods that contain adult substances, causing the mod to completely get wiped off the platform. When this happened, many people were confused. Players started making posts asking where the mod went and why it disappeared. But other people say this was unjust, stating their opinions on how the rule is rarely enforced, because there are a lot of mods similar to it in CurseForge. For example, the Create Broken Bad mod, where it adds, let's say, blue rock candy. Except not much can be done. The mod got wiped, so end of story. But being removed from a mod website wasn't the end all be all. The ARC system is used to decide what age group a game is allowed for. It works with the Australian government to check games for things like violence or adult content. If a game includes these things or shows how to use them, the IARC system can block the game or stop it from being shared in Australia. With this information, 2 mods were hit by this system, being a Pocket Edition mod, but as well as Psychedelic Craft. Now, like everyone, I can see why some of these rules are heavily enforced. I personally don't promote any of these substances. It's strictly for educational purposes. But it's interesting just how people are willing to go with enforcing a rule. Created by Divine Gaming Inc., the mod was first developed during 2021 when COVID was still around and we were both wearing masks. But that didn't stop the development of Nightmarecraft, which is a massive adventure game that's been said to have over 100 hours of gameplay. It's a fact also that Divine Gaming has spent over $250,000 freaking dollars on this game to pay for all the content in this mod. That includes paying 9 developers, artists, and map builders. Many people believe this mod is a copycat RPG, but I kid you not, Nightmarecraft is a very unique mod. I have never seen something like this ever. As soon as you start this mod pack, you are told to run. It seems like we're running through a bridge with a bunch of parkour you need to do. A quick look back shows that werewolves are what's chasing us. This chase happens for a while until we come across a house for shelter to hide from the werewolves. After that, we can escape the house and meet up with this unicorn. As soon as we catch up to it, it autopilots to the next area. The unicorn then takes us to the underground base, and from here it basically calls us dumb, teaching us how to play Minecraft.
Sleep in a bed when the dark comes to avoid the worst. Before you head out, right-click the chest to find a few things I left for you.
Yeah, this is bringing me back to like old school Minecraft Legacy Edition with the tutorial world. After being told how to play Minecraft, we make this thing called a divine dish. Then, to progress further into the mod, we're told to go to a castle.
Stop! What business do you have here, stranger?
Here, we can see that most of this game's budget was put into the voice acting. Let's meet Kennedy.
Hello, stranger! How did you make it past the guards?
Next, we made him the divine dish we made earlier. And by giving this dish, this happens.
Oh, my god! This is incredible!
I honestly think this mod is banned just for that voice acting alone. Anyways, at this castle we are told to explore. There's a cat cafe, and then we also find out we can use guns in this game. Exploring the castle further, we get to a place called Church of Union. Inside, we find a message that says, "In heaven, where the meaning of love is known, love is the same as union." With this sign, it possibly gives us some lore about this mod. But now coming back to our boy Kennedy, he tells us to find the zombie lord and take him down. But to find him, we're gonna need to find the queen. After searching and fighting a bunch of mobs, we meet the queen trapped in a cave-like prison. She gives some advice to where the zombie lord is, as well as some weird dialogue, saying, "Your coming was foretold by the angels. You were sent by God himself." We say, "I'm not sure that I believe in God or angels." She says, "You don't have to. All you need to do is believe in the love in your heart. That is where God lives." Reading this felt strange. Earlier, the mod had already been talking a lot about God and love, especially in the Church of Union. At the time, we didn't know what any of it meant, but it's worth keeping in mind once we finish analyzing this mod. After some crazy grinding in the game with missions and all, you get yourself a gun in Minecraft. And like any RPG, there are boss battles, with this one being the zombie lord, who for some reason gives you an almost 10-minute dialogue where it's just this boss whining. Anyways, after game ending the boss by shooting at him and hitting him, you're met with a crappy item in a chest. And that's pretty much this mod pack in a nutshell. From here, you can just grind or do more side quests for the people in the castle. Up until now, Nightmarecraft just felt like a weird off-brand RPG mod with lots of voice acting, some goofy quests, and a storyline that didn't take itself too seriously. But then remember all the weird messages that the mod was showing us? The quote in the Church of Union, the Queen's prophecy, and especially when our player says we don't believe. Individually, these just sound like lines to progress the lore. But what if I told you these messages have nothing to do with the lore, but instead it teaches a cult's belief to you using games? Let me explain. When we take a closer look at the people who created the mod, which is Divine Gaming, we start to see why this is the case. In a Reddit post made by Farsync6615, he discusses how Divine Gaming has relations to the cult Twin Flames. He investigates into their Discord and finds out that Divine Gaming's investor is the Church of Union. Next, when we take a look at the Church of Union website, we see a couple named Chef Jason and Chrissy, then Jose and Michaela, but then we see a couple named Laurentu and Alexandra, where it publicly says they met at Twin Flame Universe in 2018. They believe the teaching of union can be shared through any medium, and they want to show this via video games. It also says they serve the Church of Union in Divine Gaming Inc. Looking into it more, we find the Church of Union's beliefs. They preach certain spiritual laws and connect to God, where people can achieve heaven on earth and remove the causes of suffering. Followers allegedly say the goal is to completely rebuild a person's thought system to create a more joyful and awakened way of living. And at the end of the website, it says this: "In heaven, where the meaning of love is known, love is the same as union." Another evidence is shown in their website Divine Dish, where we see Chef Jason again. This website funnels to signing up for the Divine Glow group coaching. At the time of this picture, it cost over $200. So what does this all mean? Well, as you saw when we were moving through the Nightmarecraft mod, it hints all of these. The Divine Dish from the quest, It has the same name with a real website designed to guide players towards expensive spiritual coaching. Remember the quote inside the Church of Union? It appears word for word on the real Church of Union's homepage. Even the Queen's dialogue talking about angels, God's plans, and the love in your heart matches their beliefs. Piece by piece, we start to see what their plans are. It was a secret way to teach their beliefs into a game. And once people found out about it, the whole mod suddenly disappeared. As of today, Nightmarecraft isn't in CurseForge anymore. Even their Patreon and information about the mod are gone. Created by the developer Corrail, the Corrail Tombstone mod is one of the most feature-packed mods in Minecraft. The mod saves your item in a grave, but the deeper you go, the more you realize this isn't just a grave mod. Whether you're interacting with a soul or discovering a new magical item, you increase something the mod calls Knowledge of Death, a meter that tracks how much you've learned. At the start, the mod feels straightforward. When you die, a grave appears and keeps your belongings safe until you come back to it. But the world begins to feel different as you spend more time in it. Graves release small clouds of mist after sunset, and then on rare occasions, a grave guardian steps into view, calmly watching the area and offering unusual trades, including the powerful essence of undeath. As you play more, you'll come across abandoned graves, some useful items, where you can find mysterious scrolls that share pieces of forgotten knowledge, giving you directions for rituals and hidden bits of lore. Then there's the Knowledge of Death interface, a menu where you shape how your world plays. Here you choose perks that change the way you travel. For a mod built around graves, souls, and rituals, many people love this mod. It all seems harmless, until you start looking into the mod's code. It all started when a user talked about a problem with the Corrail Tombstone mod. They explained that their modded Minecraft server, something strange kept happening. Every time a player used a weapon with the Plaguebringer enchantment against stronger mobs like the Warden or Apotheosis bosses, the entire game would crash. Not only that, but the player whose game crashed in some cases had their player data completely corrupt. Hearing this story, a community post was made by Lunatress. It showed that Corrail, the one who made this mod, had actually added malicious code that forces Minecraft to crash on startup if certain mods from different creators like Gotch are detected within the mod pack. And according to users, those might not be the only mod authors on this hidden blacklist. Because of this, players gave some backlash, with the community saying, "What's with mod authors and including literal malware into the god codes? I just want to play mod packs in peace." With another saying, "Yeah, I'm just gonna avoid all of Corrail's mods at this point." And probably the most damaging one, how to kill a good mod 101. Lunatress even sent a formal report to CurseForge, worried that this kind of code pretty much crosses a line. CurseForge then stepped in right away and banned the mod, until the hidden blacklist was removed as shown in this picture. Corrail eventually fixed the code and the mod came back. But even with the fix, the damage was already done. So here's the thing, Corrail was lucky, but these next mods had completely been banned. If you were watching Minecraft videos between 2013 and 2016, Orespawn isn't like any other mod we've talked about so far. Even though many people never downloaded it or played the mod, they still knew what it was. If I were to describe this mod in one word, it would be insane. The mod added iconic bosses like the Queen, the King, and Mobzilla. For example, just to see how absurd this mod is, let's take a look at the King. He has over 7,000 health, his attacks can deal over 250 hearts of damage. If you were somehow able to beat him, he would drop certain items like the Royal Guardian armor, which is arguably the best set in the game, or he would drop the Royal Guardian sword, dealing over 750 points of damage, and if it couldn't be cooler enough, the sword is massive. But yeah, that's just a small taste of this mod. There's also a lot more small mini bosses as well as different mobs, like the girlfriend. So here's the part most people don't realize. The thing is, Orespawn didn't get banned because of its features. And if you want to understand how such a memorable mod from our childhood got taken down, We have to go all the way back to how it all started. Orspawn first appeared on Planet Minecraft in April of 2013. The mod was uploaded by 50-year-old Richard Clark, also known as They Call Me Danger. He was a software engineer who had already spent years of his life working in the tech industry. But the reason he created Orspawn had nothing to do with downloads or money. It all started with his son, where both of them were very close. But as life changed, they were forced to spend less time together. We all value spending time with our families because we only have one. You can make new friends, you can find new relationships, but you can never make a new dad or mom. The thing is, Richard cared more about that idea than most people did. He and his son both loved Minecraft, but the game was too simple, and there really wasn't much to do. Sure, building a house, exploring, and beating the Ender Dragon is cool and all, except Richard wanted to make an experience they could never forget. So he dedicated himself to building a mod with endless things to do, giving him and his son the most of their limited time together. That simple choice of just making this mod and the purpose to have a good time with his son changed everything. So Richard wanted to share this experience with many other players as well, by releasing the mod to the public. In the first few days after it was uploaded to Planet Minecraft, it didn't really amount to anything. It just made over 300 downloads in its first 6 days, which for 2013 was solid, but really it isn't all that. But as time kicked in, the download count had jumped over to 1,500. And next thing you know, the page views were already sitting close to 6,000. By the end of 2013, Orspawn didn't just give an amazing experience to Richard and his son, it gave an entire generation of kids something they would always remember. Here's how. During 2014 and 2016, Minecraft content was at its peak. We had people like Stampy, Sunday, and many more that I would watch as a kid. With the rise of Minecraft content also came some exciting mods that were added to the game. These mods were shown with what we remember as mod showcases. One of the biggest mods during this time was Orspawn. Many creators showcased the mod, especially one of my goats, DanTDM, giving us this iconic saying with the girlfriend mob.
Hey, how's it going? I've actually got something for you. This is the bread that you asked me to get, and you can now go make me a sandwich.
Other creators took the same direction. Atlanticraft built Crazycraft, which is a mod pack made around Orspawn. Once that happened, it built a massive community of players playing the mod pack. Crazycraft was everywhere, with videos from creators getting millions of views. But out of all of these creators, only one stood top, which was Popular MMOs. Personally guys, Popular MMOs was the one who really introduced me to the mod as a kid. He was the one who focused more on Orspawn, giving us gems like the Lucky Block Challenge, where they used lucky blocks to get certain items and fight the Orspawn bosses.
What's going on, guys? It's Pat and welcome back to the challenge games.
Hey guys!
And today me and Jet are facing off against the largest woman in Minecraft history.
The queen! I knew we were fighting here today.
Pat also showcased the mod, but the series that truly blew up Orspawn was his Minecraft Epic Proportion series. Back in 2013, Let's Plays were the dominant format. That series helped Orspawn explode in popularity. During this period, Richard, the creator of Orspawn, handled the attention well. He continued updating the mod while working his regular job and stayed active in the Minecraft community, responding to comments and feedback about the mod. At the time, it seemed like Orspawn would last for years. But then everything changed for the worse in late 2014 when Microsoft announced it was buying Minecraft for $2.5 billion. For most modders, this news didn't change much. For Richard Clark, it led to the start of his mod's downfall. He became convinced that Microsoft's EULA allowed the company to take his work and profit from it without permission. Whether that was allegedly true didn't matter. Instead of continuing working on the mod, Richard stopped. Orspawn updates were completely gone. And to make matters worse, the mod was at its peak during the time. So in the mod's place, Richard introduces a new project called Danger Zone. The goal was to create a Minecraft-like game that existed outside of Microsoft's control. In this new Minecraft ripoff, it still contained everything the Orspawn mod had, but fans hated the idea. They didn't want a replacement for Minecraft. They wanted the mod inside Minecraft. Because when we were talking about Orspawn's popularity from other YouTubers, many players would use the mod alongside other mods, which was one of the main things that made the mod so great. But Richard ignored the backlash and the fans. He committed fully to Danger Zone and distanced himself from the Minecraft community. Remember, Orspawn was first created so a father could spend more time with his son, but that was no longer what it was about. Now, Richard took a break, and this break lasted until 2020. During this period, Minecraft blew up again. Attention to old mods came back to the Minecraft community's eyes. Orspawn was one of them, so many fans began asking for updates to the mod. Richard eventually came back and agreed, but only under one condition. He launched a fundraiser promising an updated version of the mod. The fundraiser's goals was thousands of dollars. At the same time, the original download link of Orspawn disappeared, so the only way to get the mod is by paying for it. This violated Minecraft's EULA, causing Richard to possibly get in legal trouble with Mojang. But this paywall still continued, to where Richard would make a Discord keeping the mod there and only giving it to certain people. As you may know, this left lots of players upset because not everyone can pay for it. So after some time, a user named Katara leaked the mod and gave it to the community for free, causing Richard to crash out, wanting to pretty much dox Katara and would pay heavy amounts of cash to find their personal information, leading to Discord's involvement and shutting the server down. After this, Richard stopped seeing the problem as just Minecraft. He believed people were trying to take what he made, and that belief changed the way he talked not just about mods, but about everything. That mindset soon showed up in his posts, where discussions about Orspawn were replaced by strange rants.
Basic white boy. Yeah, you. Everybody's knocking on you these days. But you know what? You are the one that built the greatest civilization on the planet. You built the greatest cities the world has ever known. You built the greatest army ever known to mankind. You put a man on the moon.
All of these actions all added to Richard's personal record, from getting greedy with the mod to flat out allegedly wanting to someone. This led to him getting out of hand, where he won't be remembered as the person who purely made a mod to spend more time with his son and created something many old school Minecraft kids could remember, but instead be remembered for his many controversies. Fast forward to now, there's no official way to get the mod. If you try to find it now, you risk yourself of getting a virus. But first, this is still a small channel, so subscribing tells YouTube you want more videos just like this. So thank you for subscribing, you're awesome. Back to the video. Created by Spectral Studios, the mod was founded by two YouTubers, Tiny Turtle and Little Lizard. Both are best known for their family-friendly Minecraft and Roblox content, especially the little club adventures that many fans grew up watching. Tiny Turtle's channel, with around 800,000 subscribers, focused on Minecraft gameplay, while Little Lizard makes similar content, often playing alongside Tiny Turtle and other recurring characters. Together, they built the Little Club universe, which is full of characters, stories, and videos that defined a whole era of kid-friendly Minecraft YouTube. From videos like Minecraft Noob House vs Pro House, to summoning characters like Thanos and Baldi, their content was everywhere. But eventually, they wanted to do more than just videos. They had a bigger idea, which is letting players live out their own dragon fantasy inside Minecraft. So instead of normal mobs like skeletons, endermans, and creepers, they did something way more exciting. They added dragons, calling the mod Dragonfire. From the moment the world loads, you're dropped into a custom built island. The mod is simple to understand. Hatch dragons and train them, with each dragon having unique designs and abilities. The mod claims to have 15 plus hours of content, but most players end up spending way longer because of how open-ended it is. Here you meet the Master Dragon Trainer, who sends you the hatchery to claim your first dragon egg, after trading dragon tokens. Next, we learn how hatching works, placing the egg in a nest and activating it with a hatchery crystal, which takes about 5 minutes or so. Next, you're learning how to care for your dragon. Each species eats different food. Some prefer rotten flesh, others seeds or fish. Then we find out dragons even have inventory systems, letting them carry items or use special abilities. By the end, you turn from a beginner into a full dragon master. And then comes the part that really got people to really like the mod. Dragonfire also added dragons from the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. Here's a Night Fury. You can see their hunger and strength meters on the screen, meaning you actually have to take care of him. It's basically like owning your own Toothless. There's even a tool that lets you customize dragons, making them tiny or massive, and even choosing whether they can fly or not. Then here, even more movie dragons are shown, like the Stormcutter, Gronkles, and even the Bewilderbeast, all animated to behave just like the movies. For an 8 to 12 year old kid, this is basically the dream. As a kid, I'm just gonna share a funny story with you. Back in like old school prime era Minecraft when I was like 9, I thought the Ender Dragon egg would hatch into a baby dragon. Sadly, it never did, but Dragonfire finally made that dumb kid's dream come true. So what went wrong? Why did this mod end up getting banned? Well, the thing is, Dragonfire is locked behind a paywall. You can't download it on CurseForge or Modrinth. The only way to get it is through Tiny Turtle's Patreon. There are 3 tiers. The $5 Dragon Hatchling tier, mainly for support and Discord access. The $10 Dragon tier that gives you full access to the mod. And the $25 Alpha Dragon tier that gives you a mug. So in order to get this mod, you're gonna have to pay $10. And one thing to keep in mind, both paid tiers include a warning saying you agree not to share or distribute the mod, meaning buying it is the only real option. And that's where the problem comes in. Minecraft mods have always been free and community driven. Mojang's guidelines are clear. You are not allowed to sell mods for profit. An example of this is the physics mod, where it got taken down for this exact reason. So you'd expect Dragonfire to be removed too. And it was, but not fully. Here's the thing, the How to Train Your Dragon content was removed because of copyright issues with DreamWorks. All of those dragons we were talking about earlier, like Toothless and the Bewilderbeast, are completely gone. What's left are only the custom dragons made by Spectral Studios. So, meaning the original Dragonfire mod can never be played again. But here's the weird thing. Dragonfire still makes money from their Patreon, while other paywalled mods get banned entirely. And you know what? It gets worse. Making money from mods is good as long as Mojang is the one making the money. In Minecraft Bedrock Edition, there is this option called the Marketplace. In the Marketplace adds these add-ons which are technically mods. Here we can see the exact Dragonfire mod made by Spectral Studios, where it costs 830 mine coins. And you want to guess how you get mine coins? You buy them using real money. So in the end, the original Dragonfire mod got completely taken down. The movie dragons were removed because of copyright, but the mod itself kept going, just changed a bit. This mod, I promise you, is so bad, no one can defend why this mod got banned from being seen on any platform. Let me introduce you to Schizocraft, where the person who made it made sure to add a disclaimer before we dive into it. First documented in Telegram, it is unknown who is making and developing this mod. But what we do know is the first documented time this mod was being made. In 2021, we first see how this mod started. At the start, it was a mod where it added a different dimension, as you can see here from this picture where it's in space. This is one of the worlds you can travel to called Saturn. with the creator adding many biomes like the Garden of First Aid, as well as adding these weird McDonald worker mobs. This is just the start. The mod developer even added dungeons with a quite controversial boss added to the game. As time passed by, even more controversial items, unhinged mobs, and NSFW features were brought into the mod. Here we get to see an updated version of those McDonald worker models, now upgraded to whatever this is with flies surrounding them. But it gets even worse when the developer adds custom buildings. These buildings have certain items and mobs that are so bad, which includes the towers here, as well as these dirt houses containing these mobs.
Yep, it is. Oh my gosh. Bro, what are they doing to my boy, bro?
And that's really where this mod crosses the line, making one called the George Droid, Gangsters, and Thugs. Now, besides from what we've seen so far, this isn't the worst of it. There are several other things YouTube would get mad at me for showing, so better not to add them or else you would never see this video. But they all follow the same pattern. The mod's features, mobs, and items were just straight up shock value. The mod eventually went further, targeting specific groups such as feminists and American stereotypes. A lot of the things added to this mod are either NSFW or too violent for Minecraft. Adding the fact the mod adds controversial American events, whether that be the custom built towers or the frequent George references you see throughout playing it, making a complete light of the situations and turning these serious events into a complete joke. I didn't plan on making a second part of the Jenny mod, but the more I looked into this mod, it actually got worse. I talked a bit about the Jenny mod on an old video, but I found out that the mod got re-released as Gooncraft, which is an alias to be family friendly. This new version became far more controversial than the original Jenny mod. Gooncraft was originally made by Schnurry TV, but was transferred over to a user named Trollmaster Card. This didn't seem like a big deal, but the single change is the reason the mod never really got banned in the first place, and why you still see many people playing it. This mod was seen in all types of social media, whether it be TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, making me think, how did this happen? As of this current time, a very popular video that recently popped off is, can I beat the Jenny mod without beating myself? That's currently sitting at 3 million views. This video was made by Icy Harry where he essentially tries to beat Minecraft with the Jonkler 3000. All I got to say is if you know, you know. Icy Harry then follows up with other Jenny-esque videos, as well as other interesting ones. Now, with this type of content, a big question is raised by many people. Is this right to do? But let's take a look at the streamer iShowSpeed, who streamed the mod live, even though knowing his large audience has kids watching it.
Let me sniff! Oh! What's up, girl? Oh my gosh! Man!
Here he showed the features of the mod to hundreds of thousands of people live. By doing that, it got him in pretty bad stuff. YouTube issued a strike, banning him for a week.
They gave me a strike from the last stream, the one stream, where I played the Jenny mod, and the thing popped up and I didn't know it was gonna pop up. So now they gave me a strike, man, so.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe bro said the thing popped up and I didn't know it would pop off. And to be fair, I've covered the Jenny mod myself, and even some of my thumbnails are a bit weird. I'm not here to act like I'm better than anyone else or to point fingers at creators, because it's not us the people that are the problem, it's the fact that the mod exists at all is the problem. I'll show you why and how it resulted in the mod's ban. So, a small blog was made by Steven, who is a father of 2 boys. In the short blog, he warns parents of the Jenny mod, and how it adds mature concepts to Minecraft. To prevent many parents' kids from playing the mod, a small solution was made, telling parents to make their kids play on Bedrock instead of Java, because the version doesn't allow unofficial mod installation. This post, as you would expect, Steven got a ton of backlash. Most of the people attacking him didn't know his kids. They didn't know him as a person, but they felt comfortable enough to judge his parenting, saying on how Steven is being a terrible parent to his kids and needs to have more trust. Or it's about how Bedrock sucks compared to Java. And they state again he's a bad parent for forcing his kids to play Bedrock essentially. But even with these comments, Steven stood his ground. And you have to respect him being able to read these comments and keeping his kids first. My most favorite comment though is how this dude just says it's not on Bedrock. Then Steven completely embarrassed the guy, ending off saying thanks for your concern, next time read the whole thing with a smiley face. Absolute gangster. Let's clap it up for Steven. From what we've learned here, Steven wasn't trying to start an argument about modding or anything like that. He was just a dad doing dad things. Next, take a look at this channel called Jennycraft. The creator here showcases different skins of the mod and it racks up millions of views. Like how this one has over 5.6 million views. Looking at the thumbnail, it's very clickbaity, because when we watch the video, nothing happens. It's just him hitting some zombies and not showing the features people obviously clicked on the video for. And it's not just on YouTube. Certain fake Pocket Edition apps were made as well, with many people using the mod to either give you a virus or get some personal gain from it.
Without making the video too long, I'm going to explain to you how to install the LG mod in your crusting and building world. And it's very simple because I'm going to leave you the link to download it in the description of the video. When you enter the page, it's going to send you to this.
It's gotten so bad, the original creator of the mod messaged how an Android app got about 500,000 downloads, meaning it garnered a ton of attention from a young audience. This leads us all the way back to Steven's blog response. In the end, what he was worried about happened anyway. Eventually, this mod did get banned. In May 19th, 2023, Schnurry TV announced that he cannot work on this mod because due to Mojang taking down his website and are issuing a DMCA on his mods. People reacted how you would expect. Damn, this is sad, can't have nice things. We need this masterpiece back right now. This is highly unfair. Minecraft is about freedom of expression, and you were expressing yourself in a way everyone liked. Plus, this is the first time I've heard anyone get DMCA'd by them. But that's not the end of the mod. A post was made by again Schnurry TV. Hey gamers, I gave the source code of my mod to Troll Mastercard. I don't really have anything to do with the mod anymore. It's basically hers now, with Troll Mastercard taking ownership of the mod and recalling the name Gooncraft, making it available for everyone again on her website. The mod avoided the original ban, but people still notice, and the mod was removed again. When you take a look at everything that has happened, we think about how Steven's warning makes sense. Even though the mod was banned, it was already too late. Hopefully you understand these just aren't banned mods. They're proof that Minecraft can be disturbing, where choices made online can have real consequences.